How could a failed artist, once homeless on the streets of Vienna, rise to command one of the most powerful nations in history? How did this man, Adolf Hitler, convince millions to follow him on a path of destruction? His rise wasn't just about charisma, it was about timing, manipulation, and a broken nation desperate for change. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating and terrifying rise of Adolf Hitler. From the ashes of World War I to the heart of Nazi Germany's iron grip on Europe, this is the story of how one man changed the course of history forever. But before we get into it, let's understand one thing. No dictator rises in a vacuum. There's always a perfect storm of events that paves the way, so let's rewind and start from the beginning. Germany's defeat in World War I was catastrophic. The once mighty German Empire was humiliated. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, blamed Germany for the war and imposed crushing reparations. The economy collapsed, inflation skyrocketed, and the German people were starving and disillusioned. This wasn't just a treaty, it was a spark that would ignite anger, resentment, and desperation across Germany. The country was spiraling out of control, and that's where Hitler saw his opportunity. Hitler wasn't born into power, in fact, he was far from it. Born in 1889 in Austria, young Adolf dreamt of being an artist, but after being rejected from art school in Vienna, his life spiraled into poverty. When World War I broke out, he enlisted in the German army and served as a messenger on the front lines. He found a sense of purpose in war, but Germany's defeat shattered him. Returning to a broken nation, Hitler saw a political landscape ripe for change. The Weimar Republic was weak, and extremist parties like the Nazis were gaining traction. In 1920, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, which he would soon transform into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party. Hitler was a master of manipulation, using his oratory skills to stir up nationalist sentiments and blaming the Jewish people, communists, and other enemies for Germany's woes. But speeches weren't enough. Hitler knew he needed more. Enter the SA, or stormtroopers, Hitler's private army that used intimidation and violence to crush opposition. In 1923, Hitler attempted to seize power in what's now called the Beer Hall Putsch, a failed coup that landed him in prison. But this setback didn't stop him. While in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, laying out his twisted ideology and plans for Germany's future. Then came the Great Depression in 1929. Germany, already crippled by war reparations, plunged even deeper into economic despair. Unemployment soared, and people lost faith in the government. Desperation makes people do drastic things, and Hitler was ready to capitalize on this chaos. Hitler promised strength, unity, and a return to German greatness. He used propaganda to spread his message far and wide, with slogans that resonated with the masses. And it worked. In the 1932 election, the Nazi Party became the largest political faction in the Reichstag. By January 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. Once in power, Hitler wasted no time. Just weeks after becoming Chancellor, the Reichstag building was set on fire. Hitler used the fire as an excuse to crack down on civil liberties, blaming communists for the attack. With the Enabling Act of 1933, Hitler secured absolute power, effectively dismantling democracy and establishing his dictatorship. Over the next few years, Hitler's regime crushed all opposition, silencing anyone who dared to speak out. The Nazi propaganda machine portrayed Hitler as Germany's savior, and many believed it. But behind the facade of progress was a regime preparing for war and for genocide. By 1939, Hitler had transformed Germany into a totalitarian state, plunging Europe into World War II and orchestrating the Holocaust, one of the darkest chapters in human history. But how did this happen? It was a combination of desperation, political manipulation, and a country willing to believe in dangerous ideas. The rise of Adolf Hitler is a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy and the dangers of unchecked power. History teaches us that, even in times of crisis, we must remain vigilant and critical, because history has a way of repeating itself. If you found this video insightful, Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with others. Let's keep learning from history's greatest mysteries so we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.